Have you ever felt that dull, annoying ache in your right shoulder? Your first thought is probably, oh, it's just bad posture, or maybe you slept on it weird, right? Well, actually, there's a fascinating and honestly kind of alarming truth behind this. That right shoulder pain, it might not be a muscle issue at all. It could literally be a silent, desperate distress signal from your liver. See, the liver itself doesn't actually have any pain receptors inside it. So when it's under attack or really struggling, it can't just send a direct ouch signal from your belly. Instead, it essentially borrows nerve pathways to broadcast its cry for help to other parts of your body, like your shoulder. So, welcome to this explainer. I am so excited to guide you through this today. We're going to put on our medical detective hats and go on a bit of a journey to uncover the hidden clues left behind by our body's absolute greatest filter. Think about it. The liver silently processes thousands of toxins for us every single day, completely uncomplaining. But when it finally hits a wall and gets overwhelmed, it leaves a trail of diagnostic breadcrumbs all over our bodies. And today, we're going to decode those clues together. All right, here's our quick roadmap for today. 1. The liver's cry for help. 2. The culprit, alcohol. 3. Early cancer warnings. 4. The truth about detoxing. And 5. Nutrition for liver recovery. Okay, let's dive right into part 1, the liver's cry for help and its hidden symptoms. So what exactly happens when the liver gets just too exhausted to do its job? Well, our bodies communicate in some pretty strange ways. When a failing liver just can't filter toxins anymore, those dangerous substances don't just vanish into thin air. Nope, they leak right back into your bloodstream. Take bad breath, for example. We usually just blame that on skipping the mouthwash, but sometimes it's actually your liver failing to process excess ammonia. Wild, right? Or what about this intense, persistent, itchy skin, but there's no rash anywhere? That weird internal itching happens because your bile ducts are compressed and bile salts are getting trapped right under your skin. Add in persistent dark circles under your eyes that a good night's sleep won't fix, or constant bloating, and you've got clear evidence that your body's toxic waste disposal system is totally overwhelmed. And here's another fascinating clue that a lot of people totally miss. The liver isn't just a digestive filter, right? It actively regulates your hormones. When the liver gets inflamed or scarred, it literally loses its ability to break down estrogen. Because of this, estrogen levels in the blood spike dramatically, which directly causes testosterone, the male sex hormone, to just plummet. Yep, a failing liver leads to a severe hormonal imbalance that can actively crush male libido. It's a huge, flashing warning sign that the liver's intricate systems are really struggling. Which brings us to part 2, the culprit, alcohol. Every good detective needs a prime suspect. And when we're talking about massive systemic liver damage, we really don't need to look any further than alcohol. I mean, consider this massive number, 90%. When we drink alcohol, only about 10% of it is naturally expelled through our sweat, breath, or urine. So where on earth does the other 90% go? Straight to the liver. This one tiny organ is basically forced to shoulder the entire burden of cleaning up that biological alcohol. And when the sheer amount of ethanol exceeds the liver's safe capacity, its whole filtration system just breaks down. When overwhelmed, the liver just can't turn alcohol into something harmless anymore. Instead, it converts it into a super toxic substance called acetaldehyde. So instead of detoxifying, your body is suddenly churning out a brand new poison. This acetaldehyde directly attacks your liver cells, stops the organ from processing fats, which causes fatty liver, and creates this fierce inflammation. It stops cell regeneration dead in its tracks. What starts as a healthy liver swells up into acute hepatitis, then chronic inflammation, until the healthy cells actually die off and get replaced by thick, rough scar tissue. That right there is cirrhosis. And once it takes over the organ, it's largely irreversible, leading to terrifying complications like internal bleeding or total organ failure. Let's move on to part 3, early cancer warnings, those major red flags. Now, let's see how this builds, because chronic cirrhosis creates the absolute perfect environment for malignant tumors to take root. Liver cancer often develops in complete silence, but medical science has spotted some huge red flags we just cannot ignore. The scariest one? A sudden, totally unexplained drop of more than 5% of your body weight without even changing your diet. Why does that happen? Because a hidden tumor is literally draining the energy reserves right out of your body. You might also notice your urine becoming noticeably darker, or you might get these persistent flu-like chills and a mild fever that just won't quit. And finally, if the abdomen starts swelling heavily from fluid buildup, a condition doctors call ascites, that is a critical blazing alarm bell. It means the liver's function is severely depleted. All right, part 4, The truth about detoxing. With all these scary risks, it is no wonder people panic after a big weekend of heavy drinking and start frantically looking for magical cures to fix their liver. We see this everywhere, right? The myth that you can just chug some expensive detox juice or pop an unverified herbal pill and scrub your liver totally clean. But the reality? Biological detoxing is an incredibly complex, natural process that only the liver can do. By dumping random, unverified mixtures into your body, you're actually forcing an already sick, exhausted organ to work even harder to filter those out too. You're literally adding more toxins. The truest, most medically sound way to detox is actually brilliantly simple. Just stop consuming toxins, especially alcohol, and give the organ the time and space it desperately needs to rest and recover naturally. And that leads us to our final section, Part 5, Nutrition for Liver Recovery, the Scientific Protocol. Okay, so this is the actionable climax of our explainer. How do we actively support that recovery? Well, we're going to look at how clinical nutrition acts as literal medicine to save a damaged liver and give those remaining healthy cells a fighting chance. Step 1 is a total habit shift. A damaged liver just cannot handle 3 massive, heavy meals a day. Breaking your food down into 5 to 6 small meals lets the liver process nutrients slowly, without drowning. But the absolute most crucial step is number 2, eating a small snack right between 9 and 10 p.m. Why? Because if the gap between meals overnight is too long, your blood sugar drops. And to survive that nighttime hypoglycemia, your body will literally start breaking down and eating its own muscle tissue for energy. That late-night snack totally protects your muscles. Which brings us to our next life-saving rule, less than 5 grams. That is your absolute strict daily maximum limit for sodium. That's less than 1 single teaspoon of salt for the whole day, and yes, that includes the salt naturally hiding in your food. For someone with liver damage, cutting out salty broths, pickled foods, and canned goods is absolutely vital, because salt acts like a magnet for water. If you consume excess sodium, water gets trapped in your body, instantly causing that dangerous fluid buildup, the ascites we talked about earlier, which literally crushes your internal organs. Now, to complete our nutritional rescue team, we need the right building blocks. You absolutely must prioritize protein, but it has to be super easy to digest so it doesn't stress the liver out. Think skinless chicken, egg whites, or tofu. Pair that up with a steady 1 to 1.2 liters of water every single day. And crucially, you gotta maximize your rough fiber. Fiber is your absolute best friend here because it prevents constipation. And when your digestion is moving smoothly, that highly toxic ammonia we discussed earlier gets swept up and pushed directly out of your body through your stool. This takes a massive chunk of the filtration workload right off your frail liver. So, we followed all the clues today, from those bizarre hidden symptoms to the massive burden of alcohol, right through to the incredible restorative power of clinical nutrition. Your liver is just wildly resilient. It silently filters thousands of toxins for you, never complaining, simply enduring whatever you throw at it until it has absolutely nothing left. So I want to leave you with one final vital question. Armed with this knowledge, what lifestyle choices will you make today to protect the ultimate protector of your body? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this empowers you to take charge of your phenomenal health. Catch you next time.